Of course, we wanted to build something, but we didn't have access to crisis management expert. We didn't even know who to talk to. And we didn't have access to enough intelligence to know what was really happening in the humanitarian network and the international community. But we decided that we would need to build something on some basic principle, something that could be useful immediately, but also that would stay available for a longer period of time. So with this background, we started to work on the platform that is called Nula. Nula in Creole means we are there. It means that we are ready and willing to face our challenges, and we are putting ourselves together to actually react and find our own responses. We wanted, well, of course, we're talking about it a lot as a crisis management platform. It was designed to support decision making by providing a consistent and multi-channel collaborative framework. We understood that it was important for the platform to be multi-channel because we wanted to have this as a tool to engage communication between different actors. But it is very important to realize that these actors are not, do not have to use the same tools. The population did not have access to a good internet connection, for example. They don't have access to very sophisticated tools. So we wanted to make sure that we could have used different channels and put them together in one consistent channel that would allow two-way communication. And we wanted it to be a collaborative framework. A collaborative framework, of course, for the responding community, because we wanted them to work together as efficiently as possible, because it was critical for the survival of many persons. But we wanted it also to be a collaborative framework for citizens, people that could express themselves and tell what they think and tell what they envision. What we had in mind was to be able to have some crisis mapping capacity, some needs mapping capacity, resource mapping, risk mapping, and also be able to map the action and response from the humanitarian community. Our target was to provide a structured communication channel between all actors involved in this crisis management, for not only for information collection, information sharing and feedback, but also something that could be logically and physically extended to other needs. We've realized that after the earthquake, there was a serious amount of information available through radio talks, radio shows, but the information was collected in an unstructured way. So whenever you would go to that radio after the show, it would be very difficult to get a report of the most important and critical and actionable information that were shared in the process. So we started by developing a very basic paper form. So we started with the paper. And how would you put in a paper, how would you use the paper to actually retrieve information in a way that could be structured and that could then be used for more analytic and more processing for decision making. Our second target was to build an accountable model that could have behavioral changes based on open access to information, and also, open access to information as a fundamental right, and and a structured expression channel for the population. Uh, this was very important because we didn't have, from our perspective, we were a small software company, and we didn't have any leverage to even use this tool to have any level of pressure on humanitarian community, for example, or public authorities to say, this is what the population needs. But we wanted to be able to have something that was available online where anybody could have a voice, and where this voice could be used to actually tell what the population, what are the trends in the population, what are they thinking, what do they need, what do they think of what is happening. And we wanted this also to be access freely on an online tool. We also wanted to showcase the relevance, the sense of responsibility, and the vision of indigenous resources and indigenous communities. We've had a lot of support from outside, but to improve preparedness, it's important to reinforce local capacity. It's important to reinforce local communities. And to do this, you need to empower them. You need to give them some voices. You need also to make sure that you can understand the patterns of reaction that themselves they have as a community. And you be able to use this to activate the community in any critical or crisis situation. So we started working on the platform 1 week after the earthquake, and there you can see a very special picture I've taken on a Sunday night. It was 10:30. It was, we do not often have software programmers working so seriously on a project at 10:30, and there was a lot of passion, there was a lot of energy in this, and we felt that we could really build something that could be useful, and we did have the energy to go as far as possible with it. But we had a few challenges. We had to develop the application as quickly as possible. We also had to make sure that we could feed the database with information. We also realized that we had to advocate for the use of this platform so that the actors would start using it. Of course, with the limited resources that we had, this was not realistic. So we started by developing the application, and it was launched nearly 1 month after the earthquake. And with the application, we've also launched a call center, which is one important crowdsourced point of entry, crowdsourced channel that we're using to actually get information from the population to feed the database. Just to give you an idea of the concept, we've launched the web-based NULA platform, which is accessible on the website nula.hc, and we've also launched the call center with very basic technology. We only had 30 lines available, and we've had volunteers operator that were taking the calls that were coming from the population, and they had the script and they had the paper form to actually keep information about their conversation. And these informations were entered almost on a real-time basis on the website. categorized and with different fields and different domain that could be used to prepare reports and send alerts to public authorities, NGO community, the humanitarian community also. The NULA platform was also useful for other channels like web messages, text messages. We're exploring other channels where we can have crowdsourced information even outside of the call center. Recently, we've seen the picture in another slide where IOM, for example, is deploying some information kiosks in the camps today. And they have some suggestions box where people just write information, write in some papers what they think and what they have as suggestions and as need. So this is, for example, another channel that is being considered to be input into NULA. The thing with that approach is that all of this is based, of course, on the use of technology, but it's based on the use of very basic tools, like a simple paper form to actually take a structured note on the conversation that you're having. And if you take this basic concept, it means that you can extend it physically to any point that is important in crisis situation. We've realized that media was the first a very important point of entry for information, but it was not structured. Other places like churches and etc. could be used as physical extension of this concept. You can also think about logical expansion. It means that nothing in the paper forms is linked to one situation. It means that you could easily develop another form using other domain, using other references, but use an approach that can be very useful for collecting information and for making it available in a very straightforward way to different type of actors. The messages, what we've done, what we've successfully done with this is that we had the capacity to build the platform. We couldn't afford to put resources to map the needs. So we found that it was very efficient to actually crowdsource this activity. And you'll realize that with all the functionalities that we've had in the previous concept, the thing that is most vivid on the website is the constant feed of messages, of needs mapping that we're getting from the population. We've successfully done the first step of the communication process. So we're having now a platform where people can express themselves and where this expression can be used to provide report and to provide mapping of the situation. There's a second step where it is important to make this useful as an actionable pattern where we create enough transparency and enough accountability for public authorities and other actors to respond, to take the responsibility to do something about the messages that are coming in, or to consider the impact of what they are doing on the field with the messages that are coming from the system.